Hello, hello, and welcome back as the Dark Brigade continues to rock this dungeon like a no-frills mid-level venue or the second stage at a summer music festival. In Perfidious Pete plays Darkest Dungeon. The Dark Brigade, you know, they're doing some journeyman level work for us here so far. Yeah, they're probably never gonna sell out a stadium tour or headline a year-long worldwide event. But damn it, if you want 90 minutes of solid music entertainment in less than a 5,000 seat venue for under $50, the Dark Brigade will bring it home. They really will. Also, how is the Dark Brigade, like, I'm just sitting here spitballing, I'm imagining what kind of band these guys would actually be. Two ladies, two dudes. How is this not a female-fronted alternative band from like the late 90s? I mean, it's just a plain missed opportunity, right? Late 90s, that was the time of like the angsty female-led alternative group. You got your Shirley Mansons and your Garbages, your Dolores and your Cranberries, your Beth Gibbonses and your Portisheads, your Nina and Louises and your Veruca Salts, and your Courtney Loves and your Holes, I guess, even though Courtney Love has sort of become a caricature of herself these days. And then, you know, even on like a more profound and personal note, you got like your Louise Rennies from Artificial Joy Club. What are you gonna, come on, man. Somebody right now be like, who the hell is Artificial Joy Club, Pete? Well, you know what? Do yourself a favor and friggin' Google it, because I tell you what, Artificial Joy Club, they will rock your face right off of your skull. Right the hell off. But I digress. You know, it's time. Let's get back to letting this team turn this place into a Bambi meets Godzilla style 3D free-for-all. I suppose we're going to throw this jade on the ground, the deeds we really don't need. We're interested in cash and cash exclusively at the moment. And I'm going to let our light dwindle down here. I mean, we've already scouted this. We have no real profound fears coming back. I believe you are our best trap. Nope, surprisingly, our best trap disarm. You really need the stress relief more, though. Take a chance on it. Alright, it was a terrible chance and it didn't pay off, and now your stress is sort of out of control. It's nice of you to resist a blight. Taking that risk in low light was a bad idea, because the low light levels actually got us some bonus stress. And as soon as our torch burns out... Can we make it? Oh, we did it! We actually made it back without Wayne June being like, darkness creeps in around the edges, obfuscating that which should remain hidden from mankind's sight eternally, but will reveal itself in horrific and shocking detail. That's the kind of thing Wang Jun would say, right? Ah, he missed his opportunity. Oh, here it is, though.
Haunting the hearts of men.
See, darkness closes in, haunting the hearts of men. That's good. What are we going to do? We're going to eat food. We have abundance of food, no need to worry. We're also going to pump our torchlight all the way back up the match.
Spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear.
See, spirits are lifted and purposes are made clear. Mostly I do that just because I really like listening to Wayne June talk. Would Wayne June have fronted a female-led band in the 90s, a la Garbage or, you know, your Portishead, something along those lines? Probably not, because, you know, Wayne June is a dude. So it seems like he probably would not have been fronting a female-led alternative band. But he could have been singing backup or something. You don't know. I think he would have been a solid backup, man. Pete, how come you went for the facial stabbing there? Well, really, I just want to make sure that we kill one of these guys. Really just all we know. Good God, Elizabeth March is bringing brutal beatdowns. And a nice follow-up critical from Leto Atreides, but Elizabeth March has been on point here recently. She's been doing some solid work. The dodge is also a fantastic way to follow up what has been some excellent work. Those guys missed their first two turns, of course, thanks to a little bit of stun. And these guys, despite doing blight damage, are actually surprisingly vulnerable to the blight, which is weird. I think we'll go ahead and hit them with a stack. Yep. We have enough bonuses, I think, to flat out overcome their resistances. Leto Atreides can't quite deliver the goods. He's going to take a little grope and swipe in return. Hey, you are not a Bene Gesserit consort. You are not allowed to groping swipe our boy. There's a particular variety of, you know, I want to say courtesan. Seems sort of like the right word for what was going on between Leto Atreides and his wife in Dune. I mean, she was sort of a courtesan, right? He just, like, the kind that they actually just married. Like, you know, I love this lady so much, I'm going to marry her. I don't care about her past, because something, you know what? Love is more important than history. And he was right. Leto Atreides is like, well, you know what? Just because she's a courtesan, she still deserves to love and be loved. And I love this woman. And I'm not going to let anybody shame me into doing what I know is right. You know, even though people are going to be oddly ashamed of the parentage of my son because, you know, oh, he was a Bene Gesserit's daughter, as if that mattered.
Or is it merely a trick of the light?
It could be a trick of the light, Wayne June, but mostly it was just some subpar writing on the part of Frank Herbert. I don't think it was a trick of the light. He made an issue out of what wouldn't really have been an issue. Nobody would have cared. I mean, like, he's Leto Atreides' son, and since this is like a patriarchal hierarchy, and inheritance is passed down exclusively through males, and girls get exactly the shaft, we don't care about your stupid social mores. Do I want to dig this shallow grave? Is there another barricade between us and the end of the dungeon? We do have to complete 100% of room battles, which means we're going all the way with this one. But no more barricades means, you know what? Yeah, we can afford to waste a shovel here. Also, this will free up some inventory space for potential loot.
Finding the stuff is only the first test. Now it must be carried home.
Well, I'm kind of at a bit of a quandary as to whether or not I would care to carry any of this home, Wayne. I mean, I suppose I'll take the jade. We can leave the deeds and crest. Pete, you're leaving a lot of heirlooms behind. Yeah, I know I am, but we do not have any bandages. Somebody's risking getting covered in sticky sap here. Let's go ahead and have that be Leto Atreides. Sometimes a tree is just a tree. Sometimes a poison tooth is just a poison tooth. And sometimes that poison tooth fails to poison the evil Baron who has brought your house to its knees. Sometimes the Harkonnens win. Sometimes your son has to wage in a lifelong campaign of revenge to get back what's yours. And sometimes your grandson turns into a giant weird-ass worm monster. Things don't always work out the way we planned, do they, Leto? Pete, did you recruit Leto Atreides specifically for the purpose of making a whole bunch of Dune jokes? No, I didn't, but, you know, sometimes things just work out fortunately. Sometimes you just have a happy circumstance. Little groping swipe for Liz. She did take a touch of the blight there. Probably another touch of the blight. Nope, she resisted that second one. I still think... Well, I was saying we would have her... We'd go ahead and do a battlefield medicine here to get rid of that, but I'm thinking better of it. I think we have Marcella Lannister pile on the blight. Let's go for a little bit of a weakening curse on this man, just to keep the damage to a minimum. And Elizabeth March, you can patch up your own shit. You got that blight covered, girl. You're a self-actualized woman. You don't need no duke to justify your existence. He doesn't need to marry you. You don't care to be married. You don't need to be tied down to him just because he's royalty. You just wanted the most powerful potential mate to sire your child. You weren't in it for altruistic reasons. You didn't care. You just said, hey, the duke is a powerful and virile male, and he will give me a strong son. One who can grow up and become the father of some kind of giant spice-making space worm. That's all you cared about. She wasn't in it for herself. She had altruistic motives. She was just looking for the proper sort of seed, really. Let's go ahead and withstand here. This will get rid of a little bit of our stress, or rather, it'll get rid of all of our stress. This guy already has fatal damage, so we got no worries there. A groping swipe actually hit for 0. And it's going to buy us an opportunity to do a little bit of healing here, which we kind of need. So you can go ahead and patch up our boy. This is probably going to make him bleed, but we're going to whack him with the battlefield bandage anyway, so all things considered, not really an issue. Back to full fighting trim. And, well, I would have liked to have gotten a chance to do something about Elizabeth March's blight, but what are you going to do? Picked up another key and another jade for our trouble. No room fight in here, and the question is then, do we want to head up this way? And I think the answer is yes. Do we want to engage in this room battle? I mean, you know, I see both sides of this. Engaging in the room battle, not necessarily a terrible idea, but also pretty unnecessary. We can grab both of these curios without doing it, and this is in fact one we don't want anyway. But the extra room battle is an opportunity for extra loot. And if we go into this room at the end of the hall, it will give us an additional opportunity to pull a scout and maybe find a secret room. Secret room is high on my list of priorities of things that I would like to locate. 2 of these maggots are going to be dead before they ever get a chance to go. Possibly more. Yep. These guys may not even get a shot to do anything. That's it. Y'all dead. Never even gonna see the light of day. Oh, poor maggots. They never even got a chance to go into their larval stage. Wait, maggots are the larval stage. They never even got a chance to pupate and go lay teeny tiny maggots of their own. Poor things. The life cycle of the fly, it's a wondrous and beautiful thing. For certain values of beautiful. Let's go ahead and have Elizabeth March eat a little bit of food. I don't like her being in that low health. Hellions do not have an abundance of hit points at the best of times. They are vulnerable to taking some burst damage and getting killed. Keeping our Hellion on a high hit point total helps mitigate that danger. It also helps her look into this empty sack, which... Okay. Empty sack, Pete. Oh, yeah, I was talking about your own performance there in the boudoir. Oh, I mean, that's uncalled for. I hadn't even brought it up yet, and then you had to go there and mock my virility and question my manhood. Why you always got to be questioning my manhood, chat? Probably because, you know, it deserves to be questioned. Not exactly the manliest of men. There we go. Leto Atreides is a manly man, though, which is why, you know, what's her name picked him to father a child. He was like, he's the manliest of men. His seed is strong. He will give me a virile and powerful son, who will probably never himself give birth to a son that will turn into some kind of giant space worm. I'm sorry. Dune was great, and then, you know, Emperor of Dune and whatnot, they were so much not as good. If we get shuffled here, we could be in a real pickle. Having the occultist on hand to debuff this dude is something of a coup. And that's definitely what we're going to do, lest we get whacked with the tree branch smackdown. Oh, it's going to be poison spores. All right. Poison spores are not that big of a deal. We are definitely going to get blighted by that attack. I was hopeful we could get rid of the stress monster, knock him out of the way. No dice, though, and Leto Atreides is going to contribute absolutely nothing there. Our girl, May? Oh, she was one short. You know, that would have been a kill if my boy Jay Gatsby had fucking delivered the goods. Instead, we're going to be... Well, I was going to say instead we're going to be embracing the dark, but it looks like the dark didn't get embraced. And Jay Gatsby sort of made up for his own fuck-up with a nice critical there. Leto Atreides definitely doing some serious work there with our dog friend. Let's start piling Blight on a giant who it really seems like should be very resistant to Blight. Dodge it. Nope. Oh, she's gonna die. I can't believe you survived that. Elizabeth March is prone to disease. You know, literature and history tell us this. I'm tempted to heal, but we really need to get this giant dead immediately. So just keep piling on the damage. Leto, you're just going to have to stand there and bleed. Oh, you're going to do something, or you're just going to stand there and bleed? And Leto's like, no, I mean, I'm just going to stand here and bleed. Is that okay? There's more important shit to be doing. I'll just stand here and bleed. It's fine. Well, she's definitely dead now if we can't win a speed roll.
Hold fast or expire.
You are doomed, Elizabeth. Death's Door, a virtue. The giant wins a speed roll and hits us with some kind of blight attack. I guess not. Myrcella Lannister there to save the day once more. How about a real heal this time? Okay, Gatsby came up with something. Even at maximum health, though, would you stop it with the fucking tree? No, never mind. Every shot is a critical tree branch smackdown, really. It's fine. I don't think that guy did one poison spores, and literally every other attack he threw through the entire fight was a critical tree branch smackdown. Every single one. We're going to get rid of this torch, and I'm going to pick up this evasion incense. Why the evasion incense? Well, because it's worth the most money. Leper, eat that food, and you know, I'm considering camping, but based on the fact that we got the virtue, it's not really that necessary. I wouldn't mind getting some heals off. What if we run into another one of those giants, Pete? You know, you say that, and you raise a good point. What if we run into another one of those giants? And my answer to the what if we run into another one of those giants question is, it doesn't really matter if we're at maximum hit points or if we're hurt. When those giants hit us with the critical tree branch smackdown, we're going to be on death's door anyway. They just hit too damn hard. That contains loot. 2 food and 1,000. Oh, you won't eat any more food? Well, Elizabeth will. Taking that gold. Is this a journal of Darius Rucker? No, blood-soaked pages. Well, I don't care about blood-soaked pages. I only care about Darius Rucker, thank you. Probably not going to need these medicinal herbs. Let's go ahead and take this gold. You don't belong to Darius Rucker, so I don't care about you. I exclusively give a shit about the writings of Hootie from Hootie and the Blowfish. Which I'm told if you ever meet Darius Rucker and you call him Hootie, it really pisses him off. Why? Why would you be ashamed of something that you did, Darius Rucker? Why are you ashamed of your Hootie and the Blowfish nature? How come? I'm genuinely curious. Well, you made music that people enjoyed. What's to be ashamed of? Shouldn't you be like, yeah, I was in Hootie and the Blowfish. We had 2 albums that were like #1 for a while. Yeah, sure, Fairweather Johnson wasn't that great, but we still had some hits off of it. Made some money. How come, why you gotta stigmatize me, bro? What did I ever do to you? Is it because our band had the word blowfish in it? I mean, yeah. It's kind of weird, and it's actually toxic poisonous, so... But still, we were just, you know, out there doing some sort of soft mid-90s progressive rock kind of stuff. We weren't hurting anybody. What did we ever do to deserve your ire? You didn't do anything, Hootie. I appreciate what you're... I'm here defending you. It's you who's sensitive about being called Hootie. You got some personal issues you got to deal with there. Rabid Rush, Leto Atreides. Just don't get rabies, Leto. All right, we're going to stun... Good work, Pete. Say how you're going to stun those guys and then don't do it. Push the wrong button. So we are marked. You know what? Kill the dog. Or grievously injure the dog and let him linger for another round. So, yeah, that's good. Was thinking about going for the debuff, but that is fatal damage thanks to the Blight. And Leto Atreides is going to be able to finish off. We'll finish off nothing, and now he's going to get ranked for the marked. Well, it wasn't a critical, so we'll probably live to see another day. Marking our prey. 1 critical on Elizabeth March with a groping swipe could spell the end of us. Rabid rushed for 2. Resisted the bleed. Okay. I think we got to go for the heal. Perfect. On the plus side, he did resist the bleed. The dog is already gone. One of these guys has fatal damage, one does not. We're not going to get him to fatal damage, but we can get him close, and then if we throw an Iron Swan, we overkill the holy screaming bejesus out of it. And maybe Atreides could pick up the... There you go, buddy. Picking up the slack. This guy does have fatal damage, so all we got to worry about now is Mr. Penis Fungus. What do you got? Right in the mark. All right. Well, it's not going to put us on death's door, so ultimately it doesn't matter. Now we can just murder you. The healing is off the chain today, Jay Gatsby. That was actually a net loss. I hadn't have been here for Marcella Lannister to clean up your mess and get rid of that bleed. Could take another shot. Leto learned his lesson from the first time. Fool him once, shame on you. Fool him twice. Well, you don't get a chance to fool him twice because the first time you fool him, you actually murder him and his poison tooth gambit fails. And then you wind up back with Baron Harkonnen and the Harkonnen compound.
But a victory nonetheless.
Yeah, you know, you could call it a trifling victory all you want, Wayne. It just doesn't make my you know, you calling it trifling doesn't diminish my accomplishments. I'm actually going to get rid of those keys because we have no real use for them. Quest complete. We're going to continue adventuring because first things first, we're going to use this firewood. We're going to make camp. We're going to eat a hero's repast, get healed up. Then we're going to focus on getting rid of some stress here. So, you can get rid of 25 of your own stress, but you don't have any. You give yourself a huge buff, which is great, but we don't really need that. Let's just encourage our youngest party member who saw the brunt of the assault. Another encourage. You do not have encourage. You could rebel. You actually really can't do anything useful at all. We don't really need a pep talk. Do we need to get rid of a disease? Nobody really has a disease. I guess we'll hit ourselves with the cure. Who wouldn't want to hit themselves with the cure? Hey, give me a little bit of Robert Smith. I don't know. I guess we'll just throw around a bunch of pep talks then. In case we get ambushed, I suppose. There we go. Well, I mean, we're probably going to get ambushed. Nope. Didn't even get ambushed. Wow, it's like this dungeon isn't even trying to just be like, you know what, Pete, you were right about the Dark Brigade, man. They rocked my face off. This mid-level venue with less than 5,000 seats only cost me $18 to get in, and goddamn, it was worth every fucking nickel. That was 90 minutes of pure musical orgasm.
Finding out corruption is an endless
And a completely pointless, worthless trinket that we're just gonna... You know, I said we were gonna immediately sell it, but now that I think about it, we might keep it around unless we really need the money. Just to give the stupid bird thing a chance to steal it. We also picked up 26,000 in cash and prizes, and still managed to haul some deeds out of the dungeon. Not that we really needed those, but we had space, so why not? Resolve EXP, very important. Myrcella Lannister making it up to Resolve rank 3. Cove Tactician for Leto Atreides gives him an extra 15% in the Cove. Gambler replacing Weak Grip is actually an objective upgrade. That's an improvement. We don't give a shit what you do for stress relief as long as you'll do something. And Jay Gatsby found his balance. He's been struggling with work-life balance. It's all been bootlegging. And then he got enough money, and then suddenly he just stopped caring about the bootlegging, and it was all about Daisy. Oh, my Daisy Buchanan. You got to strike a balance between the two. You got to keep your bootlegging empire afloat, Gatsby, but also, you know, focus on your obsession with Daisy Buchanan, even though she is married. Nicholas, okay, so Crawley gambled, recovered 55 stress, lost abusive. Brody, drunken bender and is gone. Also got rid of 45 stress and is no longer selfish. I guess he drank away a quirk. Not typically how that goes. Normally when you have some negative personality quirks, getting shit-faced blackout drunk doesn't make them go away. It tends to magnify them. Primrose Everdeen saw a glimpse of greater beings controlling destiny, and she is now God-fearing instead of a necromaniac. Well, that's quite a turnaround. She also got rid of 69 stress and is no longer paranoid. Russell Franklin has achieved enlightenment. He gave up gambling, I guess, and now will only meditate for stress relief. Also got rid of 50 stress and is no longer paranoid. Bartholomew Quint got rid of his creeping cough and his scarlet fever. Okay, so a lot of relief getting done down in dungeon. Let's take a peek and see what's potentially on the menu next time. I'm tempted by the opportunity to go for the Shrieker. If Nicholas Brody was in town with Primrose Everdeen and our boy Russell Franklin, I might try it. Instead, I'm going to not try it. I gotta get to Lair 2 with the Darkest Dungeon. Be like, Pete, what's the rush? You know, we're only like 60 weeks into this. You still got almost 30 weeks. Yeah, that's true, but the Crimson Court actually comes out, as of the day I'm recording this, tomorrow. And I'm eager to start seeing what's going on with the Crimson Court. I really kind of want to play that DLC. Who could we take into the Darkest Dungeon, and what would happen to them if we did? The answer to those two questions are nobody good and nothing good. We could do Maud Flanders, Hoburn Washburn, Caitlin Stark, and we don't really have a backup here. They need a fifth man. We could take Dawson, but that'd just be terrible. We could take Shane, which would not be bad, except we need an absolute fortune to get his skills and such back up. Nick Bradshaw doesn't really bring anything to the table in that fight. We're going to need people who can be doing solid damage. We could go Caitlin Stark, Washburn. I mean, we got a solid front three right here. We got Caitlin, we got Maud, we got Hoban. I suppose we could try it with a Jester? It's not out of the question that it would work. Plus, stress relief would be useful. We could relieve the stress on the one person who doesn't have the trinket. What disease have you got? Oh, good, the runs and a wasting sickness. So you're like 2 weeks away from going into a dungeon, though. See, that's a problem. I kind of don't want to wait that long. We could take in Jack Dawson, but that's pointless. If we took in, you know, I think we got to take in our boy Shane, who also he got friggin' rabies. You know what? We can overcome rabies. I can work with rabies. Rabies is actually, it does give us a penalty to hit, but it's also bonus damage. How much will it cost us to get you skills back? And in this case, we only need to buy the skills we would plan to use. So it would be likely point blank shot, duelist advance, open vein. No, which one's the riposte? Is that Wicked Slice? No, Duelist Advance is the one that gives us Riposte. Open Vein is the bleed, right? So we went, bleed. Okay, these three. Tracking Shot is garbage. We want Point Blank Shot for sure. Pistol Shot, Grape Shot, Blast. Wicked Slice we don't really need. I mean, if you've got Open Vein, you don't really need Wicked Slice. Pistol shot does do bonus damage to marked targets, but we're not going to have anybody marked by any member of this group. So probably grape shot blast, or maybe tracking shot, because it does give us an accuracy bonus. It in and of itself does no damage really, but it does give us an accuracy bonus and an opportunity to hit from pretty much any location. I think we can make Shane work. I really do. What about camping skills? You have no camping skills? You have to have some camping skills, though. You have no camping skills. None. Your camping skills are going to cost us 8,000 gold. God damn, Shane, you're a fucking train wreck. So weapons and armor are going to be stupidly expensive is the answer to that question. That cost us a fortune. We need like another 8 grand. And this is if we only buy skills that we want. We're still going to be way, way in the hole here. Yeah, that's as close as we're going to get him. So we got Shane about half. Well, I guess some things just can't be rushed. I want to hurry this along, but the thing is, the second we hurry this along, the second somebody dies and we wind up walking out of the second layer of the darkest dungeon with just a straight up loss on our hands. We got to get rid of the runs because that is atrociously terrible. So, wasting sickness, go in, get rid of that. You feel healthier already? Well, they probably just gave you some kaopectate to help with your intestinal issues. It's not rocket science, Bradshaw. Anybody else really need anything? I mean, I suppose we could get rid of Matthew Crowley's lethargy, except I kind of prefer that he have that because we are looking for ways to slow him down. Anybody else? No, what do you got? Yeah, tapeworm. I'd rather not pay to fix that when I think we could probably fix that one for free with Myrcella Lannister in the company. And it looks like we're going to be doing another cash run again next episode. Yeah. I know it's disappointing and grindy, but sometimes you gotta pay to get a dead man all of his equipment and skills back, and that shit ain't cheap. If you want to see that, you know, you might consider subscribing. We post new episodes of Darkest Dungeon every Tuesday and Thursday and Saturday. If you enjoyed this grindy episode, you might consider dropping a like down in the comments section, or possibly investing in an angle grinder. Black & Decker has a 2-horse model that really does a fantastic work if you want some of your angles ground down. Right now, though, thanks very much for watching. I'll see you again soon.